this
Heresy.
statement.
Heresy.
Monster.
I don't even drink this stuff, but heresy.
Monster is better than Red Bull.
Yeah, the only Red Bull that I generally kind of like is the coconut one, but that's on like rare occasions.
I've never drank a Red Bull and enjoyed it.
Rockstar is best.
I've never drank a Rockstar.
Rockstar is the cheap monster. That's my opinion.
I just like Monster because I enjoy citrus and ginseng flavor. Which is
I like
as far
the
as I
fizz.
can gather what Monster is flavored with.
I like
Pure citrus, sugar, and ginseng.
I like the fizz.
Oh yeah, that was a thing we completely forgot to go over in pre-game preparations. I hope everyone has liquids.
Yes, I
Yeah.
hit Sprite.
I have a entire 24 pack of beer next to me.
Is it good beer?
Not really, but beer
That's
is
fair.
never good.
Just, is it good beer? Not really. That's fair. Alright
Beer
then.
is always terrible.
Depending on the person, there are select good beers. I personally think it all tastes pretty bad, but I'm of a minority in that sense.
There are no good beers, there's just the beers you hate the least.
Oh, by the way, hi, my name's Andy.
Yeah, introduce yourselves, you fools.
My name's Andy. I got 2 self-defense keychains today, and they look like cows.
Nice.
Oh, that's what those were? I just thought they were cute cow keychains.
They're self-defense keychains. They're made out of resin.
I
Nice.
imagine you hold the nose, put your fingers to the eyes, and then punch with the horns.
Correct.
Ew! My sisters each got a dog one and a cat one.
Self-defense keychains, also known as thinly veiled brass knuckles. Not made of brass.
Depending on the
Knuckle-
government, you'll probably get arrested for those.
They're called knuckle dusters by the mole name of them.
And yes, brass knuckles and things like them are illegal in many countries. But like most weapons, not illegal in America.
I found out that it's legal for me to carry a Bowie knife.
Yeah. Armored, introduce yourself.
Yes. Hi. My name, I'm Armored Hunter. I played the Dancy Boy. That me.
Have we ever made a cat's pun about Armored?
No.
What kind of cat
Okay.
pun would you make about him?
Or
The
Draventure,
musical.
rather.
Oh,
No, not the musical. Or I
Oh.
guess technically the musical. No, just the cat. I'm a kitty cat. And I dance to the French.
Oh. I just assumed you meant the musical.
No, I never mean the musical. Unless I'm directly talking about the musical. And then I still don't really mean the musical.
Mephistopheles. Never seen Cats the musical.
Yeah, you're next.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. I am the Danny Boop. I do the stream. I play the very, very not quite sure what's going on here, but is just because a lot has happened. Warlock.
The Along for the Ride lock.
Yeah.
And Eltros, I play War Crimes Incorporated. I got arrested for playing a box cutter.
Failsy, illegal in 92 states. Yes, there
Several
are
countries.
yes, there are only 50 states, but she found more.
We're also including states of being and matter in those.
Yes, she's completely illegal in air.
She's
Water.
she's illegal in gaseous form, but unfortunately, it's an edge case when you get to the solids.
Yes. Illegal in air and water, and they're trying for land, but it's
Well,
it's a hard case.
I mean, the last thing we need is Failsy plasma.
The last thing we need is Failsy fire. That's where
Failsy-
most of the felonies came from.
Failsy plasma is, you know, That's like the end times.
Is it said that Felzy can actually turn into gaseous and liquid?
It's not sad, but it is alarming.
It's concerning. I am Mythosia. I'm one of the responsible ones.
No, you're not.
Sometimes he is. And that's the end of that conversation. Hello, everyone. I'm Ash. I'm the DM, and everyone else. Aside from occasional side characters played by these chuckleheads. But we'll get to those eventually. We've yet to encounter when that comes up. But it's an option still. Anyways. Without getting too deep into a proper recap, last time our group had a rather tense familial discussion as Morrigan came face to face with her father. More properly this time, as opposed to just a chance meeting. Some talks were had, and quite a few emotions shared between the two. But despite everything, it is a stated and known fact that the past cannot be forgotten. That doesn't mean there's not a future to keep going into. And speaking of said future, that is where we arrive to now, as every moment continues us further forward into the future. The party is now sort of sitting as Failsy has started rifling through Gregory's belongings, having found several journals of his detailing some of his time and escapades as he's been pursuing the Aether trade. Probably much to her bemusement, not finding anything incriminating or potentially making him out to be evil, as I'm sure she wished to discover.
Everyone must be more evil than I am, so I can justify things.
So I can justify my actions.
I don't like how you held on things.
Well, I
But
haven't
yes.
decided what I was going to do yet. But I know I'll do something that needs to be justified.
But yes, that is where we're picking back up. As Morrigan, you're returning to the house with Gregory. Pretty much as Failsy is just like hunched over his bed and looking at a bunch of books that she pulled out from underneath it.
Elsie, you should put those back.
Sorry, that was my stomach.
Your stomach sounds like a car.
It's a car.
Also, someone is playing a video game right now because I heard a controller being messed with.
No one is owning up to that, apparently.
Whoever is playing a video game, please stop.
You know what I mean? I do crochet work to keep my hands busy.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
Elsie, you should put those back.
What'll tell
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, the one I figured would be doing it.
Sorry, I tried to get her to put him back.
It's
Very
fine.
successfully. It's like you weren't even trying.
I know I can't rip them out of your hands. I'm too small.
and also if we said for you not to do it, you would do it anyway.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's fine. I don't have really anything to hide in those. That's the wrong accent. I'm a little tired.
No worries.
So you do have Something to hide.
No, God is just not speaking correctly right now. I mean, I do have things to hide, but nothing in those.
You'd probably have to look a lot harder.
Eh. Nothing I would have to hide has been written down.
Mm.
It'd be
That's
better
what
good
Granddad
secret if
says.
you write it down.
You know, Granddad also says that he has people buried in his front yard.
Suspicious glance towards Keta as she says that.
Yeah.
She's just kind of like staring off his face, like, "Are you done, Failsy?"
Yeah, there's nothing in these books that interest me anyway.
He does give a bit of a curious look towards Keta.
Does she notice?
Depends on if she's paying attention to Failsy trying to get her to put the books away or not, I suppose.
It's a half-hearted attempt because she knows that she really can't do much against Failsy.
Morrigan would be paying attention to her father's expression, though.
Then you could both make an insight check. Morrigan, well, yeah, you haven't had too much experience with him, so it both would just be straight rolls.
Alrighty. Insight.
Keta's already aware of what she looks like and the caution that she's already taking.
10.
To both of you, it doesn't seem like surprise or like he's having like a bad memory. Or, I guess I should say, it doesn't seem like he's having like a flashback or anything. He almost seems surprised. It doesn't look like a negative expression.
What's the matter?
Are you Vivian's kid?
Yeah.
She's trying to play it out. Try. Vivian who?
Above game, I have to look.
Adriel. Adriel.
Adriel. I could not picture it in my brain. I was like, I know her dad's name is Drakenfell, but I was just like, her mom's name doesn't come up very often.
Yeah, because Ketchus.
Vivian Tadriel.
She's gonna give a look to Brimstone.
What?
I mean, yeah.
He's gonna insight check you.
Can I roll a deception check?
Oh, are you trying to hide, or what are you... Because right now he's basically being like, why are you being weird about this?
Yeah, she's trying to hide, like without coming straight out with it, because she knows that she's not allowed to say it out loud.
Alright, then yeah, you can make a deception check. Though your own faltering manner of trying to hide it makes me want to give you disadvantage.
It's a natural 1.
Alright, well... You got a total 19. Is that a problem with that?
So, for a moment I'm going to trust you because you are my friend's dad.
Seems a terrible decision.
Oh, it is.
I mean, you don't have to trust me with telling me who your ma is. I mean, it's easy to tell just by looking at you.
Didn't think I introduced myself properly. My name's Keta Drakenfell.
Oh. Yeah, that looks like another, like... That looks like a mild flashback reaction, just like... Drakenfell. Oh.
Bigger at the flame?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's my dad.
He actually turns back to Morrigan as you say that, just like, maybe fate has more to play in this than I would have expected.
Possibly.
I mean, you're friends with someone I knew in my youth. Or the kid is someone I knew in my youth.
And my dad?
Passively. I knew your mom pretty well.
Is
That makes sense.
something.
I spoke to her a lot, actually.
I hope it wasn't bad experiences, because I know she has an attitude, at least with Brimstone.
No.
Yeah, that's different.
That's just a Brimstone issue, I think.
I didn't know what she was like before I was born.
No, she was kind. She spoke to us often. A lot of us, especially in my particular unit.
Oh, the regiment.
But I suppose if you know, I don't have to explain.
Briefly. My parents never talked much about their career before I was born, but I was raised with a strict schedule.
Mm. Fair enough.
It's nice to meet you.
Aye, it's been nice to meet all of you as well.
Indeed.
I'm surprised to see that Morrigan made so many friends. Well, he looks back at Morrigan now. I don't mean that in a bad way.
I understand. I was an antisocial little git as a teenager.
I mean, she's less of a friend and more a family.
She suddenly grew past her being antisocial with having to travel in caravans across the country.
Yeah. Finally learned how to change a cartwheel.
That is a fun thing now to do.
She is also really smart. She helped when we got wrecked on an island. Very powerful.
I'll have to listen to all your exploits at some point then.
Oh, they get awful. Awful. Weird. They get weird.
Exploits normally do. I mean, I've only traveled myself outside of my time there. I've traveled through this kingdom. And even that's been pretty weird.
I can imagine. I was here for about like a week by myself. It
What?
wasn't easy. Etta was here for a week by herself.
You were here for like 2 weeks by yourself.
Yeah. No,
Right.
I realized after I said that. Yes.
As
Oh.
I wasn't used to seeing flowers that big, or the buzzkin.
They're a bit weird.
Yeah, that's gonna take getting used to.
They're friendly, but weird. They think differently
Used to
than we do.
orcs.
Aye. Well,
I
don't know if I have much else in the way of hospitality to offer you all.
The tea is plenty enough.
If you remember, it's actually not tea that you were offered. It's essentially like a spiced hot chocolate.
It's drugs.
mean,
It's drugs, but it's the best drug because it's sugar. It's sugar, chocolate, milk, and cinnamon, allspice, and clove.
Okay, then to reword that, the drink is plenty enough.
I also wanted to restate it because I don't know if Keta knew what they were drinking.
she's very cautiously sipping it. It's slowly introducing sweets again.
It's actually not super sweet. It's like, it's very warming and filling despite the fact that it's a liquid.
I mean, don't know if it's a little presumptuous of me to offer, but we do have. I mean, I was thinking of cooking dinner again tonight, and don't know if you'd be okay with this, Buttergun, but we could advise your dad.
And she just turns to look at her father. I wouldn't be opposed to you coming to join us if you'd like.
He, like, looks around. Like, you kind of realized this before, Morrigan, but you can tell your father isn't exactly a fan of being around crowds of people. You were able to gather that in the previous session.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he specifically made you walk away just so he could speak more comfortably with you.
Yeah.
He just looks around the room at the varying degrees of disinterested and hopeful eyes he's being presented with. Just sighs to himself. I suppose it couldn't hurt.
I mean, if that's gonna make you uncomfortable, I don't want to force you.
No, it's just... I haven't broken bread with anyone in a long time.
And we're a very strange group.
I won't deny that.
You'll fit right in.
Oh, and besides, our cart is a bit more spacious, so we could not be so crowded.
Aye, and you mentioned there were others that didn't even come inside, didn't you?
Yeah, although if you end up trying to make that drink in the cart, Lee's gonna badger you for the recipe.
It's not hard to make, I'm sure I could tell him.
Probably.
But he gets spooked by Madame L.A.
Who's Madame Elway?
A friend.
Yeah, another one of our companions who elected to not come in.
She's a rather soft-spoken type.
I mean, as long as she doesn't make her presence known out of nowhere. She does like to do that.
She's like a cat. She can sneak up on you and then all of a sudden she's there.
I know the sort. Some of the elders from the village back home, they were like that. Sure, like, dinner wouldn't hurt. These old bones could use with a good meal, I suppose.
Oh, Lee's a really good cook. I mean, I help. He called me a sous chef once, but I'm only allowed to chop vegetables because I'm not trusted with the pan.
He looks a little concerned.
Sometimes I'm surprised he trusts you with the knife.
I can be trusted with a knife. I was taught by my dad how to cook.
So lively. Sure, let's go. It's sure to meet the rest of your friends, Morrigan.
Alright.
I'm just gonna scurry over to Morgan and just kind of like saddle up to her side and go, and just kind of whisper, "Are you okay? Do you need a hug?"
Yeah, I think I'm okay.
You look very pretty in the new top, by the way.
Thank you.
You look pretty always, but you know.
And she'll just ruffle Ketta's hair.
Scurry out first.
So I'm assuming you all take him back to your cart, which you had to park outside of the forested area he lives in?
Yeah.
Alright. The walk back with him leading you actually does not take nearly as long. Probably understandably so, because he actually knows where the pathway is.
Yeah.
It seems to be deliberately winding and a bit confusing to figure out where you would go through the forest to find his hut without having to just cut straight through the woods.
Makes sense.
And likes his privacy.
Yeah. He is technically doing illegal things, but that's not important. Phone, why'd you boop at me? Oh, I got a text message. It's from a telemarketer. I don't care about you. Alright. But yeah, taking him back to the cart. It's not the first time he's ever seen a magically enhanced space, but he does seem to be somewhat surprised when stepping into the back of this, like, 10 by 15 cart just to discover that it's much, much larger on the inside.
Basically a small home.
Yeah, literally a small home.
With bunk beds.
We don't have a bathroom, though. Yeah,
We
we do
do.
have a bathroom.
Yeah, the plan included a bathroom.
Yeah, Javince wrote up a full plan for you guys, for your little small home, and it's got a bathroom and everything. But yeah, he's introduced to Elway and Lee and the Buzzkin. He's a little overwhelmed, but he's taking it in stride.
Keta offers her chair that she usually sits in the recliner while she helps cook.
Yeah. He seems more comfortable with standing.
I mean, okay.
Well, this is going well. They look not unhappy. He just says while you're helping him cook.
He's just used to smaller crowds. He's not used to a lot of people.
That's fair.
And we're a lot, even though we're kind of small in number, but, you know, big personality.
Yeah. There's not that many of you, but there's a lot of you.
Is that a compliment?
Yes. I think it's a compliment from me. Maybe not from everyone. Lee narrows his eyes in thought as he thinks about whether or not that sounds like a compliment.
Sounds like you're saying that that we have the personality for 3 people.
Yes.
That would be 1, 2, 3. That'd be 9 people that we have the personality size for, at least with 3 of us.
That is how numbers work, yes.
So that is how numbers work, Lee.
Yes. Numbers.
Because Morgan and Ripson are the most calmest out of all of us.
Yeah. I mean, I've traveled a lot, so I've seen a lot of people. And a lot of people are pretty boring.
Guess
You
we're the
guys
most
aren't very
interesting?
boring. Yeah. Unless any particular scenes are wanted to be had with this occasion. You guys could just
That's it.
enjoy a nice meal together.
If they had any apples or any access to apples, she'd ask to basically essentially make like an apple crumble or something of the sort for a dessert.
Seems likely. Lee did recently stock the cart, so it's pretty well.
Keta, very small.
She'd take over at least dessert because that is the one thing that she is good at.
I've just realized that in your guys' like common space, I don't think there's a lot of chairs, but I don't think there's a table.
No. There could be like a fold-out table that would be put into the wall.
Fuck your tables.
I think it's always just assumed that you guys like take a seat. Someone's chair is creaky.
It's me.
Okay. I think it's always just assumed that everyone just takes a seat and has their like plate on their lap and they're just eating while talking.
Actually, as they're eating keto, I kind of look over at Gregory and go, "So, do you have any interesting stories about my uncle here? Doesn't talk much about himself."
He looks over at Brimstone.
Again, Brimstone looks back like, what?
Not sure, honestly. I mean, I remember hearing stories about redemption. And I knew Lady Vivian.
No, apparently my dad took a ballista bolt to the chest once.
I did hear about that.
Yeah.
Anything weird and along that line?
About what? You're gonna need to repeat that because your microphone freaked out.
About redemption. Anything weird like that about redemption?
I mean, there are rumors going around that he was potentially trying to court Lady Vivian. I suppose that's true now that I'm seeing you.
Is it like that obvious?
I mean, I don't know. He like looks at you and thinks about the fact that you're their kid. I don't really know how much you'd want to hear about that.
I mean, is it that bad?
I mean, when you see someone being dragged off to a commanding officer's tent, some assumptions get made.
I assume you don't question it much.
Listen, they're either being reprimanded or something else is going on. And when they aren't running away scared shitless afterwards, it's probably not a reprimand.
Well,
he just
well,
shrugs.
What? Well, what? I'm stunned.
ain't you worried about it.
I
I know
mean,
where you sleep. I'll put paint on your face.
still though. I mean, not too many weird stories, honestly. More focused on what we were doing. And as he says that, his head does actually sort of droop a bit.
My mom has said about the men she worked with, she respected all of them very greatly.
That's not where that's supposed to be.
I just wish she could help more.
Some people are a bit beyond help. It really just depends, honestly.
I think the apple pie is done. Would you like a slice?
Sure.
She'll bring out warm apple pie for everybody.
You do so.
And she'll
It's-
just kind of quietly
It's
say
warm,
sorry
it's
to him.
gooey.
She gives him his piece.
You're fine, lass. I've come to terms with it. Had a lot of time to think about it over these last few years when I've been alone. But I'm glad to see that you all helping my daughter. You all do seem like a good bunch of kids. I mean, aside from you, Brimstone.
Yeah.
He's ancient.
Just kind of looks towards the direction where Brimstone knows Elway's chair is. He's like, yeah, I'm ancient.
She's sitting there eating a piece of pie.
Mm-hmm. It's less to see Elway's reaction and more just like, yeah, me.
The weirdest part about it is the fact you look towards where she should be and she's actually there.
Yeah.
Man, it's good to have some responsible ones around as well. Not to say the rest of you aren't, but there's some responsibilities that only
I'm
come with
responsible.
age.
Yeah. Sometimes feel I'm not there yet.
I'm glad you're not. Wish you could have stayed a kid longer, but I didn't exactly do anything to help you stay that way.
It didn't help that I was kind of rushing towards being an adult.
There's always come a time where we have to take care of ourselves.
I suppose, but some people try seeking it out too early.
Yeah.
She's been the best older sister figure I could ever ask for.
It's good to hear.
I remember the Brimstone and my dad. So she's a very welcome lady figure in my life as she kind of hugs Morgan's leg.
That's good. Well, he sort of looks around, just at everyone in the room. Alright. I probably shouldn't be taking up too much more of the old time.
We have no obligation, as of late, to... But if you are feeling you would rather have your space,
Need to get prepared to watch over the festival that's about to happen.
Festival?
Aye.
Mm-hmm.
The Mortal Carnival's about to pass through town.
The Mortal Carnival? That sounds dangerous.
Are you familiar with the festivals and such that are participated here in the Drake Empire?
Oh.
Well, there's... Fair enough. Well, there's a couple of things. There's the Festival of Radiance, held at the midpoint of summer. That's a pretty big one.
I think that's the one that's before my birthday.
Yeah, it's the one we attended while we were, in
at the Zamoda's temple.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's after my birthday. Sorry, my brain. That doesn't work too well.
You're fine. Then it has its counterpart, which is the Mortal Carnival. The Festival of Radiance is more about people seeking to call spirits from elsewhere to speak to them, talking to loved ones they've lost, seeing if they're still around or if they've been reborn, things like that. It's remembrance and communication. Then the Mortal Carnival is its counterpoint. It's about guiding lost spirits and other things of that nature towards the harvestmen so that they can return to their rest. There's no one around to remember them.
Imagine it would get pretty wild here in the Dragon Empire.
It does.
It's celebrated with some reverence, yeah.
I only know it
This
from the
year.
capital myself.
I can only imagine what they do in the capital. It's celebrated with the partying mostly.
Is there a celebration? Is that a holiday that's celebrated in Granum?
It's acknowledged in Grainham, but not really celebrated because Grainham doesn't have the same thing with spirits randomly just manifesting into existence as physical entities. Aside from specifically around these two festivals, when Will-O-Wisp will occasionally drift from the Draic Empire to Grainham.
I'm just seeing if Kato would know about it from the Emerald Plateau.
You might have heard of it, but you've never experienced it.
Only ever heard of the festival. We don't have something like that in the Granum. The worst we get is maybe the occasional Will-O-Wisp.
Is that like the Radiance of Light?
Say that again?
Is that like the Radiance of Light festival from
Yes.
the people?
Yeah, and like I just said, that's the Festival of Radiance. It's the Mortal Carnival is the counter point to it.
Helping guide lost souls back to the resting place.
Yeah, so above game, and it's being said without an accent for the sake of clarity, the Festival of Radiance is actually something that's celebrated all throughout the Draic Empire. You guys just happen to be at the Zemodis Temple during its celebration. It is a festival specifically for people who still remember lost souls, to commune with them. And basically tell them about who they were and speak with them from this point of familiarity. And it's more about calling souls from elsewhere to speak with them. The Mortal Carnival, as it is called, is a festival that is the opposite of it, where souls that no one who is alive no longer remembers. So souls of lost spirits that are from families where everyone else has died off, or none of their living relatives care to remember them. They become very vengeful spirits, like the Will-O-Wisps and things of that nature. And they are, during the Mortal Carnival, guided back to their resting place by people who don't know them, but are willing to remember them so that they may find peace. It's reminding the immortal spirit that it was once mortal, and thus allowing it to re-enter the cycle of rebirth. That's why it's called the Mortal Carnival.
Do you ever get Red Will-O-Wisp up here?
On occasion.
I've only ever seen one.
Though normally that's yokai pretending and hiding themselves. Have you ever seen a yokai?
No, I've only ever just seen the Red Will-O-Wisp, but that was only one time.
No, be careful about them. They can be a bit dangerous if you don't know their rules.
Indeed.
I'm surprised I didn't run into one when I was by myself.
They
don't typically live in cities. They more keep to the wilds.
The ones you do encounter in the cities are, well,
Mostly in the capital.
mostly in the capital and are much more civilized.
Aye.
That feels weird to say.
I mean, yokai are things that were once spirits that gained power, at least as far as I understand it. Power through malice or discontent or from absorbing it from something else. Eventually, they get a consciousness despite not having one previously, and they just sort of. He sort of like makes like the crazy gesture with his finger, swirling it around his temple. Some of them just go mad. And eventually, some of them, if they live long enough, they regain some of their senses and get smarter. That's usually what you'll see out in the wild. The different priests and such that travel the kingdoms to deal with yokai that are dangerous to people.
I think I remember reading about that before we came here.
They're one of the main reasons why it's always safer to be traveling in groups while you're outside the cities.
To travel alone outside a city if you don't know the place where you walk. It's almost as good as writing your own death sentence in some cases. And the further away you get from the trade road, the more likely it is to happen.
So are we gonna stay for the festival?
I mean, I still have things to do here, so.
I would not be opposed.
Just.
Still have still a few tasks that are in progress, including having crystals processed.
Be kind of nice to see another festival around my birthday.
Oh, I can throw you a birthday party!
That's not necessary, Keta.
I'm going to do it anyway.
Please don't.
A little party? A party?
Dinner with everyone here would be alright.
Can I make you at least a party hat?
Sure.
Yeah, at least get her a cake.
I'm gonna make her a cake, of course. Not a monster. I make people cakes.
Lee's head emerges from out of frame. Slowly sinks back out of frame.
Yes, cakes with salt or sugar.
He keeps trying to take the labels off.
Honestly, Morrigan, I don't think you'd be too opposed to it either way, as long as there's a right balance.
Still frustrating.
Well,
No way to bake.
Well, if either one of you could find a recipe for a pumpkin and spice cake, that was my favorite as a kid.
I still remember your mom's recipe. Could never get it right myself. Never been much for baking, but I remember what she did.
How much do you remember of it?
I could write it down for you.
Thank you.
Whether I could write it down for him, I suppose. He looks back over his chair to see Lee staring down at him.
He knows how to cook, but I know how to bake. Despite what he may think.
I know how to bake as well, Kenta.
There's a compromise. You could write down a copy for the both of them.
We can make it together.
Good. Means you gotta keep the labels on or we're doing color coordinated lids.
I can work with color coordination. I don't like the sticky labels because when I grab things and the sticky comes off and then it gets stuck on my hand, it is gross.
Does it get stuck in your hand? No, what? I'm not gonna ask. I don't want to know.
I mean, you've seen Lee cook before. He's very quick and somewhat forceful with how he grabs things. So it might grab something and the label will just rip off and then gets the adhesive just gets on his hand and he hates it. He's one of those people that if a sticker got stuck on his hand, he'd be like, shake his hand constantly.
Careful there, Keta. You go any higher pitch and you might end up breaking a window.
Oh. I'm gonna get my shoe.
Alright then. Well,
Sorry.
you're fine. I'll write it down for you tonight, and I'll give it to you all. I guess tomorrow. Clearly, saying that is weird for him to say.
Alright. I can't remember the name of the inn we're at. Dravinci, do you...
Yes, we are at the Honeywands Meadery.
I guess you're all doing pretty well for yourself. That's a kind of a swanky place.
I acquired the rooms.
Alright, fancy man.
You want company for the walk back?
I think I'll be alright. I think I actually want some quiet, if you don't mind.
Fair
Please
enough.
take as much pie as you want.
I've had enough, though.
Oh, if you think I'm bad, just eat that now. You would not leave the house without getting about 5 plates.
Note to self, don't visit. Alright then. I hope you all have a good night.
Too.
See you later, Da. We're gonna, like, come up to him like she's gonna hug, but not, like, aggressively, just, you know, gentle.
Yeah. He does the same. Alright, little shadow. Rest well.
Yes, well, maybe after all this is done, you ought to go see Ma.
He doesn't look confident.
At least write her a letter.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should visit, but I want to see this done before I leave it.
I understand. See
Do
you
you
tomorrow.
remember Do you remember what I told you?
Yeah.
Are we plotting more crimes?
Wait, we're plotting crimes?
No. Your friends have good ears.
Yes,
Kidding.
they do.
Alright, be safe.
Will do. See you tomorrow.
With that, he turns and heads out the cart, disappearing into the forest in the now midday hour. Because you guys did arrive here pretty early on in the day.
Yeah.
Probably
Well-
getting close to like 3 in the afternoon now.
Oh, we should start getting the cart to head back into town.
I hope we didn't overwhelm him too much.
Where are we in relation to the map?
You're literally, there's a forest, because let me zoom in a little bit to show you. Technically, you all are in this hex, that's wrong. Stupid thing. Alt. You all are currently in this hexagon.
Okay, so no, still maybe a day or two away from the nearest wellspring.
Yeah, that would be 2 days travel from your current location.
Nothing to make a quick trip then. Okay, never mind.
Wait, why did you move?
Elsie,
Yes.
can I look into your mirror?
It's mirror right now. Are you wanting to call someone?
Did you get the response?
I believe I told you all the response to that previously.
Yeah. Yeah, we can teleport there at any time.
Yeah, the wards are still in effect. If you all make your way there, he will make time for you. Is essentially the message you got back.
Belsley left the, just in case anyone wants it, Belsley left the, sort of like a portrait mirror. She left it on the wall in the main common area.
Fair enough. I don't know. I think it went well. He seems nice.
Honestly, he's... Like, Morgan just has a smile on her face.
He did seem somewhat overwhelmed. Not that I blame him. I mean, someone who's used to working alone suddenly surrounded by multiple people and they're not trying to kick his ass.
Honestly, that's how he was on his good days, when he stayed away from the stuff. Just a quiet but good man.
Do you have a similar smile? Of course, you're much prettier.
Well, if you were to say that around him, he'd say I get that from my ma.
And they must both have lovely smiles.
True.
Alright then. I guess I'll drive the cop back. You guys seem like you might need to talk.
Don't get us too lost.
I won't.
It shouldn't be as hard to get back to the city as it was to get out here.
He doesn't. Rolled to see if he got lost. He didn't.
We're still within near eyesight of the city. Shouldn't be too hard to see the field of flowers.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you won't get lost. It's the Drake Empire. Anything could happen. A death mist could roll in. You could suddenly be in Barovia.
No!
No.
But my version of where everything is nice and everyone's just really confused. Just like, where are we?
It's Barovia, but everyone's gone senile.
No, it's Barovia, but there is no Strahd.
Sergei in power.
No, there's just no one in power. Everyone's just like, we don't really know what we're doing.
Who's the
So
king?
it's,
What's a king?
so it's basically edge for sake of edge.
How many days is it until the festival? Is like the festival directly tomorrow?
It's starting technically this day. You guys are on the first day of the festival, so everyone is still like getting it set up. And you guys saw preparations being done for it the previous day, you just didn't make much of it.
So, I was thinking, Darinche, would you want to go to Bastion after the festival?
It's up to you. We can do it today. I have items that we can use to teleport back here first thing tomorrow morning.
I mean, she's kind of like looking at Morgan, like trying to make sure, like gauge to make sure that her sister, as Kenta refers to her as her sister, is okay. Don't want to leave Morgan alone. You seem to be very important to her. Um.
Is that said where Morgan can hear?
Yes, no, like directly.
Face instantly red.
Oh, by the way, I had an interaction when I went out by myself yesterday.
Okay, that one sentence contains about 3 things that are concerning.
Yes. Actually, more particularly, it's 2. Failsy, somebody's coming to get you because an act was performed in your name that was love and betrayal, and you should watch your back, and we're going to need to support you. Dervinche, I was told to tell you to keep your watch in time.
I think both Failsy and Provincia are now staring at Ketchus like, what fucking grenade did you just throw at me?
Yeah,
Jamel's
Just a
looking at
bull-
Failsy like, what did you do?
um,
From what I was told, it was not directly Failsy that did it, but it was somebody who did it in her name.
okay, and who told you this?
My caretaker. Jesus.
I was about to say, didn't Bibder stay in the Emerald Plateau?
Oh, no, not Bibder. No, the caretaker that was technically in the cult. I don't know if it's considered a cult. I call it a cult.
And
Didn't you say you stabbed him?
I did!
oh,
And how do you know you can trust them?
Because they were the one that freed me. The whole reason I got out.
so you have someone who was or is part of the cult, was able to track you down the moment you ended up leaving out onto your own.
I don't think she was willingly a part of the cult. I think it was more so the fact that she's a construct that has no real free will of her own. She's very
Construct?
old. Yes, she's made out of porcelain. She's very old.
Like
Like I think
Altea, and
before Althea.
odd.
She said to keep your watch in time. She was actually watching over me the entire time while I was by myself, and actually made sure I did not get a fever and die. Apparently one night I was just glowing when I was sleeping, and I woke up with flowers around me, and that's when I couldn't do bardic magic anymore. Yay!
Why do I feel like Ketchus just visually having a nervous breakdown while explaining this?
She is.
And you thought after
Okay.
that interaction, the best thing for you to do was to get shit-faced on a bottle of whiskey.
I was panicking.
I feel like there's so many things to unpack with all the statements that have been just said.
Nah, fucking magic bullshit.
I mean, Keta, you could even show them what she looks like.
Oh, yes, and, give me a moment. I'm going to do some weird shit. And she's going to use her, her mask of many faces to make herself look like, her caretaker.
She has a
Yeah.
mask of many faces as well?
You have
No,
an item. She has the skill.
Ah.
Shit, that was technically hers, but then, no.
Keta kind of
Yeah.
flicks her hand, and she is going to take on the appearance.
You're a bit shorter because you can't change your height with
Only
this
go
guy's
up
self
foot.
unless specific conditions are met, but
I think you can go up a foot. You can change your height by a foot.
it's still not the right height. Keta's short.
Fair. I don't know how tall this individual is.
A little bit over 6 foot tall.
Okay.
I mean, if Ketz
But-
is 5 even, then, you know, probably would only be a few inches shorter than the individual.
Okay.
But still, before you all, as Keta's form shivers and sort of like... Actually, how would Keta's Mask of Many Faces manifest, do you think, Andy?
So she'd kind of flick her hands as if she's like gonna like do a snap, and then just sort of like almost like cloth. It looks like it would be almost like pseudo cloth wrapping around her, with a kind of soft greenish light, and it kind of envelops up her form until she just kind of does one little twirl, and then she's now taking that form.
Ah, very magical girl transformation.
Yes.
I'm all for it. Alright, so standing before you all is a veiled figure. You cannot see the face of them, because I don't believe Keta ever actually saw her face, she just saw the veil.
No, I think she saw her face the second time that they talked, like the interaction outside the compound.
No, she was still wearing the veil when you saw her then.
I touched her cheek. Remember?
I don't remember her taking off her veil. I thought you just touched her. Either way.
She got at my cheek under the veil, or she showed me her face.
I think it was the under the veil bit. Anyways. But just matching the depiction, it is a entity wearing these deep black and red vestments stitched with golden filigree, seeming to denote some form of connection to the goddess Grima, given that there is some iconography of wilting plant life and scythe woven into the just general aesthetic of the filigree itself. But they are tall, and I'm assuming in order to actually show off like what you said they were a construct, you were imagining her without her gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only portion of skin you can see on this figure is the hands, which are these very carefully segmented and perfectly formed porcelain hands. Which it's hard to do anything but to describe this figure as beautiful, but there's something somber about the appearance.
Till Kenta opens her mouth.
Dravinche,
Yeah.
make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh.
That's a 16.
Alright then.
Hmm.
Seeing this figure immediately makes something pulse in the back of your head. Like you just got hit with... like someone just took a mallet and struck you in the temple.
Ow!
You okay?
Dravinche is just like upon seeing the vestige, just immediately grabs his head and grips the edge of the table that he was, while they were having dinner, drawing drawing diagrams at.
You go to grip the table, but your hand finds nothing. If everyone else could mute themselves for a moment.
Can do.
He opens his eyes from after recoiling, noticing that the table's not there. What the?
You open your eyes and see ticking clockwork around you.
How did I get back to the realm of Altea?
You look around you, it's not quite that. Whereas Altea's realm, where you previously walked it, there's a sort of ordered chaos, but everything fit together. And everything, despite the state of its creator, was pristine. Here you see rust, oxidation, gears that are broken but still moving. And there's a scent of dust in the air.
Oh, this doesn't quite. Did something happen? Or am I somewhere else?
Somewhere else.
Who said that?
You turn and see the exact same figure before you. A bit taller and a bit more detailed.
Da Vinci will kind of take a bit of a step back and I guess you could say put himself in a combative stance. So not drawing weapons or anything, but ready to move if anything happens. You're that caretaker? What happened? Who are you?
Jesus.
Okay, Desus. Why am I here? Where is here?
A wonderful question. Well, there's no answer for it. You're nowhere. You never left.
What?
Or perhaps you're elsewhere. And you're merely seeing things.
I mean, I've already been there, so...
This Desus turns towards you. The veil set on their face. This deep black silken curtain hiding everything that is below it. Though you can almost hear something in the back of your mind. A ticking. But it strikes you as wrong. Because it keeps missing beats. There's no order to it. 3 beats, it misses. 4 beats, it misses. 2 beats, it misses. 5 beats, it misses. 7 beats, it misses. Misses several beats in a row. There's something about it that you, so used to hearing that perfect metronome constantly in the back of your mind, it makes your skin crawl.
Sounds... Sounds like there's a ticking gear with a few teeth loose.
A clock missing its parts, and perhaps it's lost its spark. Do you know who you are?
I am me.
Not incorrect. But who were you?
I was who I was. In many different ways. Are you asking me for my past or something else?
There's a strike of a tick, and it misses a beat, and suddenly this figure is directly in your face. I'm asking you who you were. Or do you not know?
I was a jeweler's kid. Now I'm a dancer.
That's who you are.
What are you talking about? And before. And instead of just speaking in riddles, how about you answer me this? What did you mean telling Keta that I should keep my watch on time?
The head slowly lolls back. You can almost hear a creaking sound as it moves. Now this close to this body, you can hear this subtle ticking coming from it as well. And you realize that ticking, that missing of beats, that ticking, that constant arrhythmic sensation you're feeling is actually coming from this figure. Something within their body is making that noise. Because you might lose it if you don't. Your time.
I lose track of time in many ways. Lost track of last night.
No. Maybe it's a bit too early. I suppose I've lost track of time as well.
What are you... Okay, clearly you've asked me a question that I seem that I cannot give you a satisfactory answer. Who was I? And I ask, what does that matter? Because I apparently can't give you a satisfactory answer.
Not yet. I wonder. The head finally lolls back, actually facing you again. You can swear you can see something golden behind the veil, like a bead of light. And you realize it's the first light you've seen in this space. It's completely dark and colorless. You shouldn't be able to see, but you can. If you don't keep your mind and wits about you, when the clock strikes 12, you'll hear your death's toll and lose something you're not willing to lose. And you find yourself, you blink, and you're back in the cart. Nothing changed. Everything's exactly as it was. Everyone can unmute themselves now.
Didn't say.
Nope, no one else is aware this happened.
Yeah, I was about to ask. For us, this took no time at all.
I mean, we did see him wince in pain, though.
Yeah, I know.
That was actually what I was going to ask. Did they see him wince in pain or
Yeah,
or
they
make
saw
any
you like
exclamation?
wince and then grab, like what you said, you grabbed the edge of the table, and now you're just sort of like opening your eyes again.
Tata would have turned back to herself and just kind of, "Are you okay?"
Ugh.
He's still hungover even a little bit from last night.
Sorry, the headache just suddenly hit. Oh, he pauses for a brief moment, looks around the room, and then shakes his head. No, this is just like before.
What is...
What?
And Drench is going to pull out the timepiece.
You pull
You
out the
remember-
timepiece. The clock face isn't moving.
Uh, he first just holds it up. You remember when I pulled this out back in the Zamodus temple? And that sparked this whole quest that I'm up. That I've ended up going on.
Yeah.
I met Altia in her realm, and it was a realm full of clockwork, of order. I don't know why, but seeing that visage, I saw Desus in a realm not entirely unlike Altia's, but broken. And he looks towards the clock. What? What?
Well, what's wrong?
My timepiece, it's kept perfect track of time for as long as I've had it, and it's stopped.
The weirdest thing is, the timepiece isn't moving, but you still feel that ticking. Like the perfectly rhythmic ticking.
But first the letter and now this. What the hell is going on? Or what in the, I don't know, world, ocean, realms? I have no idea, but something is going on and I'm not happy about it.
You said you saw Desus. Well, she told me that she was specifically tasked to watch over me, and that's why she could contact me outside of where we were.
Wait. So, this.
Ancient construct lady who was made by a man who essentially wanted a perfect partner, is now tasked with making sure that I'm okay.
So, this
And she is
individual. Loosely associated with Grima, at least on colors and patterns, but also probably LTO because of construct bullshit. and what just happened to you.
She's not one of Altia's. She said so herself.
There's
I
one
asked.
more detail.
Yeah.
She's broken.
She's breaking down.
Not just breaking down, but also broken in other areas.
Yeah. The weirdest thing, Dravinche, is that when you were in Altia's realm, you know Altia is well and truly broken, but there was still light. There was no light there, aside from that single glint you saw.
Kenta kind of rubs at her face and goes, I mean, when she touched me, she left a little bit of ceramic dust behind. And she's very delicate when handling me.
No, what I mean is that her internals are broken. Gears are missing teeth. The timing is out of sync. When they spoke to me, there was I can't put words to it. She was demanding answers to a question that I could not give her a satisfactory answer.
What was the question?
She asked me who am I and who was I.
Kenta's eyes immediately just kind of widen for a moment.
I mean, how more cryptic can you get? Who am I? I am myself. Who was I? A kid back in Tezvarel.
Or she may...
Sounds like some reincarnation bullshit.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. She might be more so asking who your soul once was. You don't know that. We're all technically just different souls in different bodies.
Yeah, but isn't part of the cycle of rebirth of we're not supposed to know who we were in a past life?
Exactly. What does it matter?
Because...
I mean, if she's broken, maybe that got lost along the way.
Or another thought is you might have been the one to make her, so she wants you to fix her.
I was about to ask about that before I end up getting zipped back to reality.
From the story she told me, she was made to be perfect. Made to be a companion of sorts. And then she doesn't exactly know how she got sentience. I asked if it was Altia because Altia gives, I think it's Altia gives the construct sentience.
She gives them a spark. How that spark develops is up to them.
She told me it wasn't her. And the other weird thing is that she's old enough to have known stories about your dad, Brimstone.
You don't necessarily have to be old for that. Just unlucky.
She's old enough to have known a story of how the first one of my kind was created.
I guess that makes sense how you found that out then.
She told me.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. We talked. Not a lot. I was lucid for a very short amount of time over when I was taken. and then I'd be put back into a dreamlike state. The only time I knew that I was really awake is when I saw her face. Not her face, but her veil.
By the way, this stinks to me of a oddly precise coincidence, and I'm not sure what to think about it.
I believe some circles call that fate, Revenge. Just Madame Elway from her chair.
I mean, to think of it, I did get to talk to her yesterday, which was the start of the festival.
No, what I mean is that Hemia sent me a letter the other day saying that she had recently found some.
What is that?
Did I not tell you about Hemia?
You might have. I probably forgot. Anyways, not important. Continue.
Just to keep it short, she's a potion seller that I met back in the Emerald Plateau. And she had some. I enlisted her to discover more about me because we've ended up with multiple people commenting about me smelling or feeling different. And I was curious to get to the bottom of that. Well, she sent me another letter saying that she might have found something else out, and that I can meet her in her shop at Gladius Tower, which is going to be the next city that we're going to have to visit if we keep along the trade routes.
Alright. Well, maybe it has something to do with your soul then. I don't know.
At this point, I'm almost content to just say forget about it and just continue living my life.
Oh, but if you do that, it's going to bite you in the butt, and it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be the fun kind of biting in the butt.
Bowsy sort of leans over. It's like, what do you know of this good biting of the butts?
It just points at Lee.
God damn it.
No comment.
Inky bastard.
Right. Anyway.
He's not currently involved in the conversation.
Meanwhile, Morgan's in the corner trying not to laugh at the conversation going on at this second.
Well, maybe to get your mind off of it, Da Vinci, do you want to talk with Granddad?
Sure, we can.
Once we get back to the inn.
We can go and head over to Granum proper.
We'll be back in the morning. Oh, we can wear. Wait, is it proper to wear costumes to this festival?
It depends on the form of festivities, but to some places when I've experienced this festival before, some people would wear costumes, but really, some people take any occasion to wear costumes, including various balls and outings.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is I can wear a costume.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would stop you.
Yeah, Da Vinci, you'd be pretty aware that it's mostly. I mean, there are certain people who are relegated to wearing costumes, being priests and such will wear costumes. But other than that, it's mostly kids, and they wear much more silly versions of the costumes that the priests wear.
Now, depending on how garish your costume is, you might get some funny looks, but no one's going to tell you no from wearing costumes.
That pulls out the mask, the theater mask that she got. It's a fox.
Yeah.
Thinking of this.
That's not too much revenge.
That should be fine.
Get to wear costume. We don't have a holiday like this in Grand. We should start. I need to talk to Granddad about starting a holiday.
Well, do you want us to step out and head over there now?
Oh, once we get back to the inn, Morgan, if you want to come with, you and the Revenge could have a little bit of a long time while I talk with Granddad.
Honestly, it's probably better if I stay here. I don't know how early in the morning my dad will show up.
That's offer.
Keta, it sounds like you're trying to play matchmaker.
Oh, no, never. That's my aunt's job. She'd kick my butt if I tried to take her job.
No, she wouldn't.
She would.
No, she wouldn't.
I've met her once, and I can already tell that she wouldn't. And instead, she'd probably put you to play matchmaker more.
Yeah.
That's the impression I got from her, too.
She's lovely.
She's something.
But don't be mean. She likes you.
I'm aware.
She's rather enticing.
That's
Yeah.
But anyway,
I feel like I am missing something.
My aunt is the asthma of fertility.
I'm missing a lot of something.
I already forget her name.
and
My aunt
actually, I think,
is Indra.
And,
and I think actually just looks to Jamel up and down. Yeah, she's about your size.
It's big.
No, I think Jamel's bigger. At least, certainly longer.
I'm longer than most people.
Yeah, that's fair. Most people don't have a tail.
My
At least not as big as yours.
aunt is Indra, the asthma of fertility. She is my aunt on my mom's side, of course. She's very lovely, and she loves me a lot. She thinks I'm very cute. She calls me as cute as a peach.
And you should have seen Failsy's reaction to her.
I've seen Fezzi's reaction to me, so I can imagine.
Oh, bro, I thought that laughter was like Bailey, like, no. Although Bailey's just, yeah.
I think my heart would stop if I got both of you in bed at once.
I'm not listening to this conversation anymore. I'm going up front.
I think a lot of people's hearts would stop. I'm not gonna lie.
Note to self, make arrangements.
I mean, if you're gonna assassinate your spouse, I guess there's worse ways to go.
I've always planned that if I'm ever going to kill Felzy, it has to be in some way that she will like it. Because otherwise she will come back as a vengeful spirit, and no one wants to deal with that.
Yeah, I don't really think I want to deal with a ghost that's firing that's firing waves of acid at me.
No, instead I will deal with my wife as a spirit. And I know Felzy. Her being a spirit will still be fun. Jamel just smiles.
Fingers in the ears.
Yeah.
Alright,
Sure.
so let's go ahead and take bio break on that note.
Yeah!
I plan to go talk to Granddad.
On the note of Jamel thinking about the terrible things she would do to Failsy in order to kill her.
She wouldn't do it to kill her, but if she died,
If she
she
dies,
would probably get
she
revived.
dies. I mean, yeah, it's a temple full of holy people. At least a few holy people.
Couple.
Yeah, Voltolia just be like, come back, and Failsy would because she'd feel bad. Because that's Mama.
Watoli would just be like, come back, and Failsy would be like, with pleasure.
Round 2? What's up?
Alright, yeah, but bio break, people.
Yeah.
Get to the breaking of the bio.
Oh, I only know how to break bad. Fuck.
I mean, if the bad is biological in nature, it's breaking bio. You sounded so hopeful.
There was a joke there. I don't know how to make it, though.
I also like that after I heard you just make this hopeful gasp, I very distinctly heard a squeaky toy in the background of someone's chatting.
I blame Armored because he has a cat.
Yeah, I just accidentally hit the dangling toy that I got my cat, which has a speaker that squeaks when it feels vibration.
Perfect.
Yes, like so.
Squeaky squeak.
But yes,
Yep.
everyone, bio break time. Get to the breaking of the bio. This one is not a long one.
Ah!
I scratch on head for itching purposes.
Oh, Jesus, that's terrifying.
Nice.
That's a Bard College for like 2 of the great old ones. Don't like that.
That's what it's like when you mess with the great old ones.
I'd prefer not to think about that.
They just give you a little bit of
Mostly because, you know, I prefer to truck in the ones that are less just mounds of flesh.
all of them are mounds of flesh.
Nah,
Sometimes bone.
Some of them have forms that aren't, and those are the ones I care about.
You can describe a human as a mound of flesh.
Correct. That aren't mountains of flesh.
Well, then that's no fun.
I don't care.
Oh, I do, motherfucker! Don't mind me as I break my neck, break my neck, break my neck.
th level bardic ability is literally just playing a violin badly. Badly enough it makes your brain go ouchie.
Listen, sometimes you gotta give him that dude. And if it comes from a violin, it's gotta come from a violin.
Yeah, I was like, with the violin. That's why it makes the brain go ouchie. A violin shouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, sometimes you just take your violin and just go, woo!
Ah, yes, the College of Doot. I know it well.
A duke can be played on any instrument. Just depends on how offensive it is.
There's also a barbarian with this where you can make your weapons into instruments, and then at 14th level you can break the instruments over people's heads.
So what? You take a long sword, turn it into an instrument, and then break the long sword over someone's head?
Yes.
Impressive.
Mm-hmm. It does like an extra 40, 12 damage.
Do you no longer have an instrument then?
Correct.
Or a weapon?
Depends on if the weapon is magical or not. If the weapon is non-magical, then it breaks the weapon too. If it is, then it just breaks the musical component and it's just a regular weapon again.
Oh,
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
I had my pumpkin bread during session.
Oh, I want one.
On a pumpkin bread?
Yes.
Acquire pump.
I noticed
Lazy.
during.
Lazy.
You can make it.
Acquire the pump dump.
Hmm. Anyways, as you were saying about Da Vinci.
I noticed during Da Vinci scene it was both me and Armored's track playing.
Yeah.
Because spooky, but also clocks. Spooky clocks.
I love that Keta is now just associated with spooky.
Spoopy. Well, yeah, because all the spoopy shit happens to her. Except for Corvanos. That happens to Morgan. And sometimes, and kind of fails her.
Here's a question.
What?
Would Da Vinci have ever had pumpkin before?
Really?
I mean, yeah.
I was like, Da Vinci, if it's not from Tezverel, is the most likely to have. He's the one who's the most traveled.
Yeah, I would suspect that's grown fairly much in Grainham.
I mean, mostly in Grainham, a lot in the Palecrest Isles, and quite a bit in the Thraic Empire. But again, they grow like pumpkins, like what we think of like a pumpkin, where it's mostly for aesthetics.
Oh, so they just have giant fuck off pumpkins. Got it.
The computer that I'm working on just started talking in the background because Cortana turned on.
Honestly, I could see Redemption making a pumpkin pie.
Oh yeah, that's the thing is, because Da Vinci has mainly spent time in Tezverel, Jezebeth, and in the Draic Empire.
Yeah, he hasn't really spent much time in Grainham.
That sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, so if he had... Unless the group has had pumpkins at some point in Grainham, and I don't remember it, he probably has not had pumpkins.
On God, though, I could see, like, when we were in the Emerald Plateau, though, like, one of the things being made, like, a pumpkin soup or something like that. Kenta would have definitely made some pumpkin cookies.
I mean, it was summer then, so probably really wouldn't have had too many pumpkins.
Pumpkins grow... You can get pumpkins in the summer. It's just that we most commonly associate with fall.
I'm aware.
They're not as big and nice.
Lee has found a pumpkin. We don't ask where.
If you ask him to acquire a pumpkin, he will find a pumpkin.
Yeah, we don't ask where. There is just a pumpkin now.
Do not request from where he has acquired, simply accept that he found it. It'll be easier on your sanity.
Found it in a gutter. It's a gutter pumpkin.
So good.
I was just walking outside, and I was thinking, oh boy, it'd be nice if I found myself a pumpkin right now.
And
I look for one, and I look around, and I'm like, don't see any pumpkins around here. And I walk a little bit, and eventually, I found a pumpkin.
very weirdly.
Yeah, okay.
There's an ant on me. Get off me, ant.
I don't know if that's Ash saying it,
Yes.
or if that's Lee, or both.
Ant. Get off
Because
me.
because I could also
Get
very
off
easily
me.
see Lee just... Oh,
Get off
designate.
me. Get off me.
Oh my hand.
Ant, I'm going to destroy you. Why are you so big?
Flatten it.
Ah!
Maybe. I wonder if it's a king or queen ant looking to find a place to set up a hive.
Well, I just flicked the out of it.
Actually, no, wait, no, it's I'm thinking termites, not ants.
It was an ant. It was not a termite.
Ants also
It was
have
just
queens, though.
It
They
was
do have
not a
queens,
queen. It
but-
did not have long abdomen.
But that also made me think that you were trying to imply that it was trying to make a nest in ash.
Never say that again, or I will vomit into my microphone.
Fair, because I don't want to think about that either, and I'm not going to.
Well, that's literally the phobia I have.
Fucking fair. Same. Not explicitly, but now that you've thought about it, same.
I started a new mobile game and I hate that I'm so into it. It's a good story. Started Cookie Run.
Cookie Run?
Cookie Run.
No.
Why am I not surprised?
You shut the fuck up.
I just been funny because I only just heard about it today through seeing ads on YouTube because I don't have ad block on my phone. No, and I'm just sitting there going like,
Who would play
who would
this?
play this?
There you go!
It's a
Ketchup.
good story. Leave me alone.
Look, I'm not picturing it's Andy that chose it. It's just as soon as she saw it, just everything but the Keta part of the brain shut down. Keta was just like, "Ooh, cookie."
They also recently got English dubs and I love them all.
Ooh,
Don't
cookie.
they also? And they have a Sonic crossover,
They do.
which, honestly speaking, the Sonic crossover looked cute, but at the same
Fun.
time, I'm just, okay then.
Thank
I
you, Kang.
I have a Sonic cookie.
I am a cookie.
I had to collect all the Chaos Emeralds to get him.
Of course.
They're cute, and I like them as a very
God damn it.
compelling story.
Oh,
There's
that just
one
made me
that's
think
a-
of something else.
There's
Well,
one that's called Moon Rabbit Cookie, and I love her.
Oh, it's just the real time fan dub of I think Sonic Adventure 2 and what they call the Chaos Emeralds.
what do they call the Chaos Emeralds?
No, they call them piss rocks.
Ah,
I don't remember why. In that same fan dub, Eggman gets drunk and pisses on the moon.
that sounds accurate.
And by pisses on the moon, I mean he cracks it in half.
What?
Eggman
Oh,
Oh,
pisses
you
on
hopped
the
in
moon,
at a
apparently.
good time.
Hold on.
Please look at this cookie. She's so cute.
I like how desperate Andy is to get us to accept her love of a mobile game about cookies.
Look,
And also, it turned into a fat rabbit.
okay. That's all the context needed for that statement. Anyways, are we all back?
I think we are.
I hope so.
I think. I know. I
I'd
just
like us
got
to start
back.
up.
I
Failsy.
have aggressive beer. Aggressively Australian beer.
How aggressive and how Australian?
As I can find the chat. Aggressively Australian beer.
Why does this beer taste like Crocodile Dundee?
Of course, it has a kangaroo on it.
My brain misunderstood what I was looking at for a second.
Called Brute.
Ah,
Bajoey.
Broo. Brute.
Bajoey.
my brain was just like, why is that kangaroo a gun?
Gone. And
Because it kind of, like, its arm and its leg kind of looked like a trigger and a finger guard for a pistol.
yeah.
It's the American speaking.
No.
It's a little bit of the American speaking.
Anyway.
Yes, is everyone back and ready to continue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, we
Correct.
pick... What did you say?
What?
You're the one who said it. Anyways, we pick back up as the group has now arrived back at the inn, having made their way through the city, and you're starting to see several of these festivities being set up. Many of the buildings have already been decorated somewhat loosely. You imagine it might grow more in-depth and fancy as the festival itself continues over its week-long period. But the beginnings of these decorations have started to be placed out. Strings of lights of various colors decorated around homes. These strangely faceted pumpkins with weird warts and growths all over them that make them look very disturbing and questionable. And you wonder what's the point of them.
Huh.
And just in general, it's somewhat simple at this point, but you're starting to see like these festival colors come into play now.
Is that pumpkin sad looking?
They don't have faces or anything carved on them, by the way. They just are weird looking.
Still sad to get that.
Fair. Like, they themselves almost look like faces.
Oh, so that's a pumpkin.
I mean, that's a. Is a gourd. Pumpkins we have back home are orange.
They're orange.
Some of them look like that, but not all. Oh, I mean, I've seen some that are somewhat smoother. We usually make pies and cookies out of them.
They don't really use pumpkins in cooking out here. What do pumpkins taste like?
Or telling, she kind of it's a very playfully grabbing him by the shoulders and just gently saying, "You've never had pumpkin?"
No, I grew up in Tezerel, which is the farthest place from any pumpkins, and only traveled around Jezebeth and Blossom Kingdom.
Oh, when we get to the basin, we're getting you something with pumpkin in it.
Okay.
It is you need to taste it to try it.
Okay then.
Ah, it's good! It makes a really, really fucking awesome pumpkin soup.
But yeah, you figured, yeah, you can make soup with squash, so I guess it's not that dissimilar.
We make cookies with it, and we make pie.
Cookies.
And the cake I was talking about earlier.
Don't know how to make cake with it, but yeah, it usually kind of turns out really squishy in the middle.
Must be a very sweet squash.
Yeah, I gotta add sugar and cinnamon.
It's
By itself, not really.
it is a thing that can take a while to being made either sweet or savory.
Roasting the sage is pretty nice, though.
Oh yeah, Brimstone taught me how to roast the seeds.
I hope you all know the more things you say, the more that I'm gonna make.
I'm not making that cake without me. I hope you know that.
We'll see who gets it first.
No, Lee.
It depends on how preoccupied you are. I've got to play with the recipe a little bit, make sure it actually works. Because he said
Oh,
he's
yeah.
not a baker. I don't want us trying to make a bad cake together.
You know what? We're going to the bastion. I could also ask. I mean, I don't know if she's gonna be there, but I could ask Miss Bliss if she has any pointers on making a pumpkin cake.
Okay.
I mean, she'll probably be there.
I don't know. She's a busy woman.
Yeah.
At this point, you all are actually back at the inn.
Are you guys okay with us going?
I mean, if you're gonna go visit Bliss, I guess I can come with too.
I mean, we're going to go to Gradam first.
Well, yeah, but
Do you want to see your lady? She can playfully poke you in the arm.
yes.
I'm not gonna fault the man. And it also helps give us a place because we're going to need to have somewhere to stay.
I mean, we could just easily find it in. It is a city.
Yeah, I think that I'm gonna cover myself with that, and then, well, maybe Kako.
You want to borrow the key?
Yeah, you could use that.
Sure. I'll borrow the key.
Alright, I'll go get it out of my bag for you before you go.
Oh, one more
That-
hug before we go, please. Because I won't get a hug from you all night then.
Well, I gotta come back to give you guys the key before you leave.
Ew.
Actually, the key might end up being better because right now the primary option for teleportation is either inside the Emerald Bastion itself, which is not a smart idea, or into a poor watch seller's tent in the middle of the marketplace.
Well, doesn't the teleportation destroy the item you use?
No. No, just use it as a channeler.
Then why did the apple disappear?
Is it was a magic apple?
That is odd. Because
Might be that was its whole purpose for having existed, and then when it got used, it didn't need to exist anymore. Maybe.
You know what, Fair, as you like to say a lot of times, Brimstone, magic bullshit.
Yeah, magic bullshit.
To be fair, that was an apple you kept in your pocket for like a few months.
And it never rotted. Yeah, it probably was magic bullshit. And she'll just go get the key and hand it over to Dravinche.
alrighty.
You do so.
And then, of course, because Keta requested, hug.
Everybody loves the small pink baby.
Yee.
Yeah.
Okay, and I also have a mead bottle and a. Oh, right. The
What did
Da Vinci is just going to set down a candle. I picked, or actually, no. I just need to go and check up on something quickly. And he's going to go over to his room. And what he'll do is he'll leave Morgan a lit lavender scented candle on an end table.
Nice.
and then it'll return back to the group. All right, so ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
And-
keep Lee in line. Make sure he doesn't get into too much trouble.
Just
Eventually do the same, but for her.
Brimstone. Yeah.
I don't get in trouble. Trouble finds me.
That's not true.
Morgan will look between Lee and then Keta to Lee, then back to Keta. I'll do my best to keep him in line for you.
Right, let's get going. We got a granddad to go see.
Okay. Above game. Did we ever get the name of the inn we stayed at?
No.
The fancy one?
Yeah.
I think it got mentioned.
You know the Honeymoon Tavern?
What? No, that's the where you guys are right now.
No, the fancy one with the special key.
Yeah, in Granum. So I actually do not remember it being mentioned. I don't have it in my
pretty
notes.
sure it did. I just don't remember it.
If I remember rightly, it's the Rose Thorn Inn.
That sounds right, because the key is like a road.
Alright, Felsy's an employee there.
It's a part-timer. Pick up an occasional shift. For purposes.
For
You know how it is.
reasons.
What you do can't be mentioned on stream, but it's fine.
Felsy
Okay.
needed more money because
Books are expensive.
Reasons.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I just realized this would be Keta's first time going to the Bastion.
Dorinci is going to hold up the key and
it is
hold
good.
up the watch. And to the Rose Thorn Inn.
All right.
We.
You're taking 2 people with you this time,
Yes.
which means I'm going to need you to roll a percentile to see if the item successfully triggers.
Oh, fuck, I can't believe you've done this.
33.
All right. Yeah, you're fine. With 2 people, that increases the potentiality for it to trigger by, I believe, up to below a 20, so you are fine. Because if I remember rightly, I said it for every person increases the potentiality for it to shut off or have a mishap by 10.
I can't. Fuck.
Yeah, because if you take the full amount of people with it, it's very likely it's going to cause a mishap.
Yeah.
Fair. It's
Which-
a good way to balance it.
Yeah, it's pretty much the only way to balance you guys having a free teleport spell every single day.
I mean, that's what caused us to end up being in the Emerald Plateau, but scattered everywhere.
Yeah.
Got it. And then, but if Da Vinci does it by himself, then.
And then it also is what caused you guys to appear like a mile in the air outside of Fellhaven.
Whee!
Right, yeah, that happened.
Well, I think it was like 300 feet, but you were still an unfortunate kind of off topic, or off target.
Yeah. High enough, it was poopy.
Yeah.
And since it's an associate object, we get to a 100% chance of being on target.
Yep. So, yeah, you're good.
Keta's first time here.
What? Oh, you can't roll a 0 because it's 1 to 100. Yeah, you're good. Roll a 0. All right. You hold. I'm assuming you're stepping out of the cart before doing this, given that you were told
Yeah.
you can't teleport while inside of one of those spaces.
Yeah, of course.
Because teleporting inside of an expanded area is a bad idea.
Yeah, no telling.
Because you're not
Like, oh,
technically on this plane of on the right plane of existence.
Right.
Alrighty then. So you teleport, feeling that rush sensation. Luckily, it seems that this function of the watch remains undamaged.
I was worried
As
about that.
as you blink, and you all have suddenly appeared in your in room.
this
You see the. Oh, this is actually gonna be funny. You see a lavishly decorated room around you, Keta, with deep velvets, with like deep velvet and red colored upholstered couches, and then you look up, and you see a gigantic, like 10-foot wide, sensually lounging portrait of Da Vinci.
I almost forgot about that.
Yes, now
fuck?
the stairs
He's
are
wearing
just over
clothing,
there.
or rather, he's not wearing clothing, but he is tastefully censored by a pillow.
And the stairs are just over there, so let us make our way.
That's more naked
than I would
ever like to see you, Da Vinci. I like you as a friend.
He's got a good body, though. Not your type. You like him beefier.
He's also older than me.
We all
That
have
has not stopped you in many occasions.
we each have our own way of making ends meet.
You know what? You do you. Go, girl. Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Just walking out.
Yeah, you all head out from there.
Ked
I'm
is
assuming you
obviously
just-
very flustered. Like,
Just make your way straight to the bastion. Alright.
And it ends up being like a slight bit of tour of the city since this is their first time here. And then it's just and down over that way you would have the pool of blood.
Yeah, you can see like this big glowing dome in the distance, Keta.
you know, this wasn't the way it was described to me when I was younger. Honestly, I was expecting a lot more green.
I mean, it is very green because a lot of the stonework here is actually made of like this deep green, opaque gemstone. It almost looks like it is made of jade.
It gets greener when you get closer to the palace.
Hey, we're going. Oh shit, we're going to the palace. Kind of like just dusting herself off.
You dust yourself off, try to straighten yourself up a little bit, gussy yourself up just a tad.
And since we're not heading towards the giant pool of blood, we are going this way.
Yeah. Making your all's way to the bastion. There's a moment where you all are stopped outside the gates. Especially considering there is a person they do not recognize with you. But a bit of talking and you get yourselves cleared for entry. And you are allowed inside.
Oh yeah.
Led to a similar meeting room led to that same meeting room where you've met with Granum a few times now.
Is he there?
No, you were led to it alone. And you
Yeah.
seem to be told to wait here.
We have an unidentified baby wandering the premises.
This. I thought my first visit here was going to be a lot different. This feels weird.
Well, we can't exactly give them all the details about you just yet.
Yeah, no, it's just... I've been, like, hyping up this moment in my head for a while, because, like, I was supposed to make this grand trip to the Bastion, and I was going to announce myself in front of the church as my mother's child, and...
I think what you should just focus on right now is the fact that you're going to get to see Granum, and he's going to be very happy to see you.
I get to see Granddad.
You hear a bit of a commotion
Yeah.
outside the door.
Oh... I'm pressing my ear to the door.
A bit of a
Dravinci
commotion.
will pull Keta back.
I feel like Brimstone just. Fuck.
Oh no.
Oh, yes, Lady Vivian, I sorry. We have to set meters here for training.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose we could go inside. Okay.
So you watch as the door is suddenly thrown open, so it's a good thing you weren't against it, Keta.
Oh yeah.
As you see your mother, in full armor, step through the door.
Oh, no.
Hi.
She looks at you, like she's currently wearing a helmet, so you can't really see her expression. Looks back at the door, closes the door. Just
Dravinci releases his hand on Keta and immediately bows.
She just pulls the helmet off and tosses it to the side and just runs and hugs you.
Yeah. She runs towards Kenta. Brimstone takes like 2 steps back, just like.
My baby! Oh, it's so good to see you.
Are you in armor?
Oh, there's a lot going on right now, honey.
Yeah, I heard about the blood.
Oh, there's a lot of it.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. We just had to deal with some stuff that got through the lower holds of it, but nothing we couldn't handle. That's been the fortunate thing so far. Nothing we can't handle. Yes, what is it?
She turns around.
Well, that's new. When did this happen?
You're not gonna like it.
Oh no. Well, I know I'm not going to like it. I managed to force my father to tell me what happened.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Don't get mad at Brimstone.
I'm not.
It's not his fault.
You're
I'm
trying.
not mad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Trust me, I'm not mad.
See, when you use that tone of voice, it's really hard for me to believe that, because that's the tone of voice you used before you hit me. I know I'm not helping the situation.
You're really not, Brimstone.
No, but no, I'm safe. See, I'm here. And she kind of pats her face.
I can see that. I can see that. That's the only reason why I'm not turning your uncle into a pile of goo on the floor.
And Dad would be upset that you would do that.
I think he would understand.
Oh, Dad doesn't know.
I think he would understand.
Yeah, he probably would.
I'm safe.
I could convince him.
I got out. Admittedly, somewhat by myself.
Why? I figured you could. Oh, I always knew you were strong. Even if you have little noodle arms.
I can't do bardic magic anymore.
Her smile does droop a little bit. What happened?
I don't know, and that's why I kind of like came to talk to Granddad. I have magic still. I promise. Actually, and she summons her weapon.
Vivian sort of steps back from the fact that she hadn't let you go yet.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
she was
suddenly
doing
like
that
a
thing where
scythe
she was
blade
just sort of,
hovering right by her head.
yeah, she was doing that thing where she was just sort of like keeping you like held in her grasp. But yeah, you do that, and she like steps back a little bit. Oh, well,
You can use it.
She looks at it in the hums with every the smile just a little less.
Oh, I promise I can use it. And then
I don't doubt that you can use it, dear. I'm just
Concerned about where it came from.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have the ability to heal. I got more
Okay.
pointed ears. It kind of
I
like tugs at her.
see.
I got some magic that came with that.
Pointed ears and magic. All right.
I mean, I was in the Drag Empire, Mama.
I'm aware.
Just every statement a little more concern.
But
Yeah, every single thing that is said, her expression goes from "Oh, I'm so happy to see my daughter," just "Oh, I'm so glad my daughter's not dead right now."
You're making
sorry.
it worse. Yeah, it's just the okay, and with each sentence, the hole that keeps Keta in one place, she gets a little bit deeper.
Think of it, Mom. I retained enough of your and Dad's teachings to survive on my own.
That's good at least.
I may have had to steal some things, but that's okay.
She like tilts her head to one side, just less good, but I understand.
I'm all better. Somewhat. My soul's kind of upset.
I can tell.
How bad is it?
She just smiles at you.
Oh, that's not the good one.
We'll deal with it one step at a time, honey.
When you smile like that, that means something's wrong.
No, am I to understand that Granum is going to be making his way here as well?
She
Or
just
is he
sort of
occupied?
side eyes you, Dravinche. Yes, he is making his way here.
Oh, are you mad at him?
Well, I'm a bit frustrated when he decided not to inform me that my daughter had been kidnapped by the very cult that we are currently in a constant war against.
Well, there's a little bit of good news about that. That you might be happy about. And she kind of leans in and whispers. You know the other the purple tiefling Failsy? Remember her?
Yes,
She ended up dealing with one of the head guards that was there.
that
But he
is
is
good.
somewhere.
I mean,
And
that's a bit of the problem with the Cultus Magisteria, Kata. When we strike them down, they eventually just come back.
she is also performing various magical rituals that allow us to learn critical information about the strength of some of their forces as well as some of their objectives.
Yeah.
That's good at least.
Yeah.
I'm good at
I'm
some
not
things. Not a
gonna
lot of them.
question what she's doing about it.
I wasn't questioning it until you just said that. Her eyes just narrow at you, Brimstone.
What? I don't know anything.
Mom,
The less I know, the less they can ask me when she inevitably gets in trouble.
I hate that your logic is sound.
Did he tell you what I found?
She sort of like kneels down to be just kneels a little bit down to be similar level to you. I actually don't remember Vivian's exact height off the top of my head.
She's around 6 foot.
Yeah, so just a little bit. He did.
Healed him.
I'm aware. And that's good. It's really good.
Why do you sound upset?
She just smiles at you.
Mama,
There's been a lot on his mind after
no.
that.
Did I fuck up again?
No, no, no. You didn't mess anything up, dear. He's not talking about it, but I know that after he told me that you healed him when I forced him to tell me what happened to you. Because I could tell that he was in turmoil about something. You can't hide that from me.
Nobody can hide that from you.
I'll be honest, this whole room's a bit of a swirl with it right now. But we'll address those other things later. But I think it made him remember things that he didn't before, and now he's torn about what he should do.
Oh. On the brighter side, I do get a reward because of it.
I'm aware.
I know what I want for my reward.
What do you want?
Free time for you so you can spend time with Dad.
That's not much for a reward for you to ask for, Keta.
Yeah, it is. I get to have you. That's the best reward I could ask for.
She just gives you a much more genuine smile at that. You are too pure for this world, little one.
I've been told.
I feel sticky.
Seems like a huge problem.
Brimstone, if you try to put another finger on this lovely moment, I will personally escort you to a mile in the air and let you find your own way back down. That's what I thought.
Well, how long does it take for the old man to get here?
He's having to do some legislative work, but I think he's on his way.
I can't do the sending anymore, so it's a little frustrating.
We might be able to do something to help you all with that. Since you're all needing so much correspondence with us anyways. Everything you're doing.
It's a little strange, Mom. I don't have as much magic as before. But, like, I have different things. Like, look! And she kind of turns herself, and she looks like a smaller version of her dad.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's me disguise myself.
It's weird to see a short version of redemption.
Wait a minute.
Quite.
She had used it to great effort in order to protect herself.
That's good. That's really good.
I went underneath the name Wilton.
She looks over at Brimstone.
What?
That's Redemption's father's name.
No.
And Redemption's given technically legal name, but yeah.
Well, you're tieflings. Your legal name is the one you choose.
Before he chose Redemption. So I
So
said given.
Fair
Oh
enough, I
God,
suppose.
Granddad has been waiting for me. I know.
Yes.
You're going- He's going to have some strong words for you when you get there eventually. Even if you still intend to go.
Oh yeah, I want to see him. I haven't seen him since
Me.
I was like 12.
Oh, I
But
wish you
come
would
on.
just stay. But I know I can't stop you.
Yeah, besides, you know, even if I stayed in the Emerald Plateau, you'd have to let me eventually get married.
Yeah, I don't think Leah would stay landlocked very long.
She just blinks at you.
But you know that I had a lot of men looking to court me.
That is a road we will cross when we get to it.
Oh, you can't deny it. I have and Indra's good looks.
Keta, my darling, my beautiful, most precious of baby girls.
You're crossing the patience line.
Okay, fine. I will
It's a
not
very
get
good thing
into
the
it.
patience line has grown very wide given my worry.
I will lock it until Granddad gets here because I have some questions for him. And she does like
That's
the
good.
locking key motion.
I came in through the window. You turn around and he's just there. And there's an open window behind you, behind where he came in through.
Just runs and like almost tackle hugs him.
She tries, but Granum is as strong as an oak and does not bend.
Well, she still tackle hugs him. It just hurts.
Well, more just like he doesn't move.
Thunk.
Yeah.
No, he goes back, but he still catches her.
Yeah.
I imagine it's like throwing like a dodgeball at him, just thump. Okay.
This is my baby.
It's good to see you, Keta.
Good to see you too. I have a tail now.
I see you. I mean, I saw before. The message you sent me that randomly appeared when I was walking past a puddle.
Oh yeah, I don't have sending anymore. Yeah, no, I don't have bardic magic anymore, and the guitar you made me doesn't work.
We'll have to do something about that then.
I would like to have something. And I have a scythe, but that's also because I can summon it now. But, I'm said there's something weird going on in the soul, and I already know something's weird going on in the soul, but, like, can you see anything else relating to that kind of magic? Because, like, I know I've been fucking with that kind of magic. Sorry, I'm talking a lot.
You're fine, Keta. And you will be fine.
Of course.
I just think the you that's within you right now just needs a bit of time.
I'll be okay. And she pats her stomach.
I will say, there is something about your magic that does feel familiar.
Well, there's something I want to talk with you about, and I don't know if you want Mom in the room.
I suppose that depends what it is.
It's about a certain somebody that has big horns.
I feel like Vivian is like, why shouldn't I be here? Excuse me, I'm your mother.
She's just looking at Keta happily right now.
Goat legs.
I know who you're talking about.
There's something I need to talk with you about that's like, concerning.
Well, we'll have plenty of time to do so. Though I'm assuming you all aren't staying long.
No, not really.
And someone wants to go see his girlfriend.
Girlfriend?
As a girlfriend.
Brimstone, a girlfriend?
Look, it's weird.
She actually, like, looks at you for a second, Brimstone.
I don't like when you look at me like that.
You seem happy. But you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. Considering,
No.
you know, The other green person in the room. Yeah.
He hasn't made any moves for a while, aside from this. And we still don't even actually know if that's him.
The fuck else would it be?
There have been a lot of fiendish powers vying for his supposed throne, it seems. We got word from Tezvarel of things coming out of the Hellmouth that were claiming
good.
his right.
Oh.
Taking over Ignis?
Possibly. No. Ignis. I guess you could call the Hellmouth Ignis. That's a word that means fire. Sort of drums her fingers against her arm, thinking. All I know is that there have been 2 reports of powerful entities that wiped out a sum total of 1.5 entire guilds in Tezvarel.
The fuck?
Do you have more information on that?
We're still trying to get everything through, but it was a... She seems to be thinking for a moment. One of them was a... Described it almost like a human, but with cloven hooves and the size of a giant, curved horns, spines running down the length of its furred body, wore gold and accessories upon itself. It referred to itself as a Goristro.
Could talk?
Faultingly.
Is it in Infernal?
Some of it infernal, some of it common.
I mean, I would assume if it's powerful enough to wipe out a fuck ton of people, it's probably smart enough to talk.
I mean, it spoke like a brute. It spoke like a brute and spoke of trying to claim the throne of fire via force. We're still trying to understand entirely what that means, but I assume it has something to do with... And she just gestures to Brimstone, to him.
I think I might know something on that regard.
Are you sure that Granddad made it?
Wilton?
Yeah.
I mean, this happened near the Hellmouth. Wilton lives elsewhere.
Yeah.
He lives in one of the outskirts cities.
So what would... No, that wouldn't stop him from going to try to kill something.
If it weren't already dead by the time he got there. Like I said, it wiped out 1.5 adventuring guilds, but they were still able to put it down by the end of the day.
I just worry.
What has me most concerned is what its body did.
Did it do?
Disappeared.
Yes, it didn't die, it didn't leave a corpse. It just sort of melted into nothingness. We'd never seen these fiends do that before.
We did.
You did?
Number Rosie.
We fought a creature in the clock tower.
Marazi.
And when it was killed, its body also disappeared.
That's concerning.
Means
It
it ain't
is.
dead. At least I assume.
You're correct. That means it's not dead.
Fuck!
Ah!
That means it went back where it came from and is going to reform itself.
And I'm
It'll be a
betting
long time before it reforms.
Yeah.
and I bet it's reforming in Ignis.
Maybe.
Granum actually looks towards you, Da Vinci. You speak as
Vinci
someone
will
with
look back.
knowledge.
I had enlisted. I had enlisted a researcher, and they ended up informing me about the topic of what they call them realms. They said that there is one realm made of fire called Ignis that was originally made by Ignasia, but it is currently controlled by another entity. If creatures are coming out of the Hellmouth in relation to, and Da Vinci just kind of head gestures towards Brimstone.
Wonderful.
We may know who the entity in charge now is.
I might have an option for some help.
I don't think that's anything that you can help with right now, Kata.
No, not me.
It's not
Just not.
something any one person could help with, Kata.
Wait.
Nadia. And she's not saying it out loud, but she's just looking at him.
He looks like he's lost in thought.
Wait. Didn't you say there was two of these things?
Yes.
You only said one.
The other one was different. And it was a while ago. They only just reported it to us now that this new event happened and was hostile. It was apparently a few years ago that this other one happened. Described as a female demon, large wings, irresistible in form. Apparently looked very similar to a tiefling, but features more exaggerated, more refined. But apparently it just came out of the Hellmouth and ran. Didn't engage anyone, it just fled. And eventually eventually they couldn't pursue it anymore.
Yeah.
But apparently it never spoke. Or if it did, no one was willing to tell me what it said. Either way, we
And
can
you're also
consider it
kinda
a threat
scary.
too. Well, I wasn't there, Keta.
I mean, still, your presence is kind of scary.
She just gives a little, like, affirmative nod, just like, fair. Still, it's concerning that there's another one of these entities that apparently emerged from the Hellmouth years ago, but hasn't done anything yet.
If it was just scared.
It's impossible to say.
Of course she was.
Sorry.
Vivian looks at you interested, seems to be giving you a very deep stare. You know something, don't you?
Yeah.
What did you
Well,
know?
out with it.
The other individual. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I'm failing. Viv, you remember I told you about Ilyana? My fiance that, you know.
Yes, I remember our fairly long discussion on the topic.
Turns out the old man had a little bit different plans for her.
You don't mean that he changed her?
Not exactly. It weren't the old man that did it.
Did.
Grandma. Part of a deal. I guess when she died, she was pregnant. The deal was exchanging the life of the child. And she could get power to pay him back for what he did, and that I could get some manner of peace from him. It turned her into a succubus, I believe is what the word is.
I've heard the term before.
In any case, I'm not sure between the then and the now. All I know is that she, in some way, was either captured or given to him. And she made her escape. Somehow.
So the Aunt Bliss is.
Yeah.
Brimstone, I hope you've realized what you're saying.
Not gonna hurt her, are you?
Vivian just gives you a long, hard look, Brimstone. Do you think that she could have been responsible for what happened in the Bastion?
No.
Even though she must be one of his forces.
Hey,
I don't think so.
Mama, she's just trying to live her life as a person.
Her eyes finally break from Brimstone to look at you, Keta. Honey, I know that, but We can't turn a blind eye to something just because it's inconvenient to us.
You can feel it even if you get around her. I could feel it myself, Mo. She's scared of even people around her. She's even anxious of just having me around her. To do that is a cold, calculating move, Mom. She was still truly evil, then she had plenty of chances to hurt Brimstone, to hurt a lot of people.
Someone who's truly evil does not take the first chance to hurt someone. They wait until it would hurt them the worst.
What does this place mean to Brimstone, then?
What do you mean, what does this place mean to Brimstone?
She is working for him. He wants to hurt him. So why here? What does this place mean to Brimstone that would kill him so much it get destroyed?
I don't know, Keta. But you are... She stops herself.
And what?
She takes a deep breath and lets out a sigh, seemingly trying to calm herself. Brimstone, if you're so certain, could you bring her here?
I was thinking the same thing, actually. You're better at reading people than I am.
Yes. No one can lie to me. You don't have to do it now. In fact, I don't even think it would be a good idea right now. If there is something... There is something to it. Though I know you both believe there isn't. I don't want to press the matter while we're still trying to heal.
What do you...
Yes, let's let the emotions settle a bit and and revisit this topic with cooler heads.
I'm not
Sorry.
going to have a cooler head about this.
Luckily, you don't need one, Kata.
Much as I don't like the accusation, I get where it's coming from. I guess I never thought about it until now, and I guess I didn't really want to, but...
It may be nothing. I might just be being paranoid.
But
But it's my
A lot of-
home.
A lot of new information has been stated in a very short amount of time.
being paranoid is what keeps people alive.
There's a lot of conflicting emotions in this room right now.
Okay.
Is we have some tea before we talk?
Certainly. Vivian actually walks up to you, Brimstone. It doesn't have to be in the Bastion. Take me to her, and we'll talk. If I find some evidence of wrongdoing, I won't make it evident there. I'll tell you afterwards. I won't take any action until we actually know what is happening. I'm not so rash as to make a decision like that on the spot. At least not anymore.
Well, you know I'm going to hold you to that.
I would expect no less from my brother-in-law. Would also expect no less from one of my oldest friends.
Yeah.
Mom used the F word when referring to Brimstone. Oh my gosh, she's nuts with that.
Get to be quiet.
Never.
I despise him, but that does not make him not a friend. I can feel the same emotions coming from you and that boy.
Wait, which
Don't
one?
despise him.
And I don't actually despise Brimstone either, I just love acting that way. He just gets on my nerves constantly. And I think he enjoys it too.
That's because he teaches me the things that you don't want me to do.
Do you really have to
yes.
think that when you can sense my emotions? Or are you just being coy again?
I don't always read your emotions, Brimstone. I'm not crazy enough to expose myself to something like that constantly.
Yeah, okay, fair.
That just kind of slips over to Brimstone and hands him a little card. If you go to see Aunt Bliss without me, could you give her this?
Yeah.
So don't forget. Oh, I can't get pumpkin cookies from her then.
Well, we'll see.
He hugs Brimstone. Best uncle. Now that. And you can't say that you're my only uncle. I have like several on mom's side.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Kind of like half uncles, I suppose.
They're still uncles. It's like how Aunt Andrew's still my aunt, even though she's technically a half aunt.
You're not wrong.
I know I'm not.
Angel's really the only one I would consider close enough to really be a sister. The other ones are estranged and weird.
And then runs around in the woods naked.
We don't talk about him.
I do.
Anyways,
I don't talk about him.
I mean, I guess we could do this now, actually.
Yes, it seems like this is a natural parting point. Keta wishes to speak to Grainum. The two of you can go and visit Bliss's shop. And Grainum, is Tim within the Bastion?
Tim is actually in the catacombs right now.
I just because Tim is Tim.
Is he still a skeleton? Is that just a comfortable place for him?
I think
don't know why you mentioned him being a skeleton. He's not one.
When
so just, excuse me, what?
No, he's a skeleton.
No, he was very much a person when he arrived in the Bastion.
Okay, I'm not gonna question it. Magic bullshit. Anyways,
He's like me in a way, so it could be just something that he has.
Anyways, indeed. Could I get an escort to him? To the catacombs?
I can have him come up here, actually. I don't think you'll want to go down into the catacombs.
That'd be much appreciated.
Leave a sending stone with him. I'll have one of the guards send a message to him and he should come up. He's very eccentric. I've learned that.
yes.
Yes, he is.
How many cats did he bring?
He turns around and looks at the windowsill, and there's just one sleeping in the windowsill that he came in through. It's like that big fat one that opened the door for you guys the first time.
Ah,
And it currently has a small rock sitting on its back. I said, oh, there's the sending stone if you want to talk to him yourself, Trevenche. I've learned to stop questioning these things.
yeah.
And you have a lot to talk about, Granddad, and I would like to get as my reward.
Of course.
Wait, does that mean I have to talk to the king?
We'll start by talking with me.
Okay, because I'm not ready to meet a king. I look at you.
He is...
I look you.
I mean, you can disguise yourself, so... Also, he's a lot more casual than people make him out to be.
I'm still meeting a king.
He's a king of heroes and adventurers and warriors, so... He's used to a bit of dirt.
Oh,
Hey, stay
Shall we-
safe.
Alright then. Suppose I'll speak with the rest of you later, and we have a lot to discuss.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah.
And on that note, we're gonna end off here for tonight.
We went
You're gonna
a
have-
little over.
Little bit over, we're gonna be holding some in-between sessions for all of your individual discussions.
Oh, fun.
oh boy.
So then we pick up next. You pick up next Saturday.
We're gonna be picking up next Saturday as long as everyone can make it, with you all going back to Petalfall.
All right.
Okay.
Essentially reporting what you learned to the rest of the party. And continuing on the story.
Vivian's mad at Kata.
She's not mad, she's just disappointed.
That's even worse.
That's worse.
Keta heard immediately that her favorite aunt is going to be, like, possibly her. She's like, no, I don't like that.
Alright then. Anyways, though. Hope everyone had fun tonight. Sorry about the silence for some of you at the end there.
It happens. I mean, I kind of did that to you guys last week. Sorry.
It happens. I wasn't exactly planning for you guys to go back this early, but it works out.
Listen, then we don't need to go back, and then we can just kind of continue on to the capital.
Fair enough. Like I said, it works.
Yeah.
Just because I wasn't planning for it doesn't mean I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
I'm ready for everything. That's the power of improvisation, baby!
Yeah. Alright.
Just gonna meet the king. Ah.
So, with everything all said and done for session time, does anybody have anything to announce, shout out, promote?
Nope.
Eat your vegetables!
Mm-mm.
Good.
You'll die!
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted this whole time.
Correct.
They'll turn you into a cantaloupe.
Don't
Good.
like cantaloupe.
I don't have anything to shout out.
Neither do I.
Did you say cantaloupe or cantaloupe?
Yes.
What does it matter?
Fair. Me not have nothing.
Just give your dog some pets from us.
He's probably sleeping with my dad.
Anybody
They don't have to be
listening-
right now.
And anybody listening, give your animals some scritches or some pets from us.
Ye. Give the fur babies all the lovin's.
Armored Pathatelli belly.
Okay, I'll destroy my hand.
Good.
I'm giving the good old blind lady some head rubbies. Okay. And because we won't, this is our last stream we're having before it happens, but it's coming up. Any Canadian people listening, and I know there's at least one playing with us tonight, I hope that y'all's Thanksgiving coming up is a good one.
I
It's
make an
Canadalin.
entire Thanksgiving dinner alone.
Armor's gonna be asleep.
He's a Canadalin.
But yeah.
Yeah, so happy early Thanksgiving to any Canadian people listening, and to our Canadian here with us tonight.
Hi.
Alright, so if that's it for, shoutouts and promotion and all that, joking or serious aside, either way, time for the Endspiel. If you liked this tonight and you want to find out what happens next, you can join us most Saturdays at or around 8 p.m. EST. Hey, we were pretty close to on time tonight. Look at us go.
Yeah.
But yes, you can join us on this same channel most Saturdays at or around 8 p.m. EST for more of the Scattered Realms. And if you like this crew's energy, you like our group's kind of dynamic, but you like your D&D more modern day setting, you can join us most Thursdays at or around 7 p.m. EST for Project Ada.
It's gonna be fun!
Where I play the most tired of dads.
I'm hoping
And
we'll
Armored
have
is Florida man.
Armored is Florida Man. We have come to the conclusion that Armored is literally just playing Florida Man.
It would be funnier if Kovgun was based on a gator.
It works either way.
Yeah, I'm just saying it would work even better.
Alright. So, with all that said, I think we're all good to just say goodnight.
Go.
Alright,
Hi.
everybody say goodnight. Mouse, cooperate with me.
Mow.
Good night.
Alrighty, good night everybody. We'll see you when we see you next.